Welcome to the Cherry Podcast, and today I'm here with Syed, Zain, Ali, who will be hosting this podcast with me. And today we will be discussing the importance of skills in the world. Zain, why don't you go
Thank you
ahead
very
and
much, Joseph.
why don't you go
Okay.
ahead and start this topic for
All right,
us?
I'll go ahead. All right, I think Joseph has sparked a very important discussion about the importance of skills in the world, especially in the modern day. I mean, we've seen this reflected throughout history, and skills are what are exactly what constitute a person, their character and their trajectory in life. So I think it is an important talking point. Every individual has their own particular set of skills, whether that be Liam Neeson or myself and Joseph here. So I'd like to start by saying that skills are an interdisciplinary thing. They're absolutely an interdisciplinary thing because your skills from one discipline can be applied to another. And while I'm still on the topic of discipline, I like to discuss martial arts, perhaps. Me personally, I take a interest in martial arts, having trained martial arts at a Dagestani gym, and you and I have both been trained by um, a ex-Dutch Marine Navy. I don't
Military.
know,
Yeah.
military. Yeah,
And it is a very
and
useful skill to survive in the world out there.
absolutely,
Absolutely.
absolutely, it is. Whether that be through self-defense, and like I said, interdisciplinary. Uh, you apply the discipline you gain from fighting. I'm sure Joseph is a very disciplined person. I know he be running around with weights in his bags. He be walking to training with the weights in his bags. It's a very long distance, and that dedication is shown in his academics as well, for example, and in his drums, where he commits himself very
At very
very
rare
much.
occasions, at very rare occasions, I take weights in my bag. There was one time when I walked about 5, 6 kilometers with five
Yeah.
kgs in my bag, all just straight up in the heat.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, that's absolutely awesome. Even if you did like once or twice, those are skills you developed. That's a mental skill.
Yeah.
So
I think I've
absolutely, I
naturally
think.
developed this adaptability to intense resumes whenever I work out. Because if I introduce
Mhm.
myself to something where I'm doing something new or I'm doing it more intense, my body is adapting it to it very quick. Compared to other
Mhm.
people like my brother, he wouldn't really
Yeah,
adapt as quick as me. He would take more time to actually get there.
fair enough.
But
Yeah,
apart
because
apart from physical skills, there's also skills in practicality, as in business or work.
in
What kind of skills do you think are most important in in terms of like working in
terms of
business and
businesses,
surviving?
now me personally, I'm no businessman. I mean, I've had a small business venture with an old friend of mine, washing cars in the neighborhood,
Mm-hmm.
and we're also employed for labor
Hmm.
in a warehouse. And I believe it was skills that led us to our success, but it was also a little bit of luck. I think that's necessary for every single business and every single yeah opportunity
Mm-hmm.
because what drove our success day to day, we didn't have overall success, just day to day success.
Hmm.
What drove that was a particular set of salesmanship skills, and without the charm we had as young folk, going around washing cars, summer heat, people admired not only our charisma as sales peoples, but
And
also
youth.
our dedication. Yeah, and our youthfulness. They appreciate it. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
think that is one such skill, sales, which is important, whether that be through business or even meeting people and developing connections, building a network. I think
Yeah.
salesmanship is directly correlated to charisma. Yeah.
Yeah. And social skills is actually something very, very important in life. That's what creates your whole
Definitely.
network. That's what creates your whole basis for a business, or that's what creates your connections through work, getting your work done quicker, going to your
Hmm.
boss and saying, "Hey, I got this done because I got this
Yeah,
guy, I contacted him."
a-
Absolutely
absolutely. I
speaking,
agree.
social skills are
Yeah,
important.
I must have
So,
in this society.
if people out there, I think in academics these days we're actually very limited in terms of skills because we only look at that short sight into our curriculum. We only look into that. I need to get this done in my external assessments. I need to get this done in my
Hmm.
projects. We don't actually look at the wider range of skills that we
Yeah,
need. Like, for
I
example, in
think
my case, I didn't learn about some very few important skills until I actually worked in a company where I got a good gist of all these different departments, sales, accounts, food and beverages as well, and the physical labor that goes on.
mhm,
I got a good perspective of all of that in a hotel and hospitality. And it taught me the skills of managing my time, which I tried to use in during my last year in school. And I've been using it
yeah.
and it's working, it's really working. I don't feel stressed as much because I'm able to manage my time now.
Oh, you're
Before,
gonna have to put me on, Joseph.
before, before I would be completely late at everything. I would miss deadlines sometimes, or I'd be doing it
It is what
at
it
the
is.
dot at the end. So yeah,
Yeah,
that is something school doesn't teach very well.
that
It
is
is
something
something you
school
pick up
doesn't
on
teach.
your
Yeah,
own. Yeah.
yeah.
Or you take that extra step. Do you have
Hmm.
any experience that actually brought that to you?
Yeah, I've had my internships at a welding company. I looked at welding, but mostly it was the financial and HR side. I'm no
Hmm.
business student, but I learned a lot about the skills they require, and it's interesting because these are skills that they absolutely don't teach in school. They don't even teach in university. You got to learn difference as a what's it called as a finance officer or a salesman or a chief of sales, HR, whatever. All of
Hmm.
these people they need to understand a particular software, which is honestly quite complicated. I did not quite understand it myself. It's called SAP. I don't quite remember what it was
Hmm.
what it stood for, but it was like an organizational software. A lot of companies use it. It keeps everything organized, and those are skills that you develop through work. But I have to say that school does also provide you with one vital skill, which I don't know if you could classify as a skill, but I believe that knowledge in and of it itself is a skill. For example, economics. I think economics is a great thing to take as a student because in my experience it has done good for me. I can't call myself an investor. I only have about $200, but uh I started with $100 and now I'm at, now I'm at 215. And
Well,
I believe I,
congratulations.
I can yeah, thank you. I can attribute that uh to my understanding of the world through economics because economics taught me a lot about uh analyzing articles, understanding what a lot of economic terms mean, and because of that I was able to apply that to the S&P 500, which is a reflection of the economy.
Hmm.
And if I'm studying the economy as a whole, macroeconomics, I can read the news and I can learn from that, and I can apply that into stocks by purchasing or selling a stock whenever I see fit.
Hmm. And something that I
Mm,
think that many people in their youth should do is actually indulge
mhm.
themselves in reading news and the newspaper locally,
Absolutely.
internationally, and in your own country. These are the three places you need to get information from. So in my case, I'd look into India, UAE, and I would look around the world what's going on because these small bits of information can alter our lives greatly. And that is a
They
fact
can
that we all
definitely.
should be aware. Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
But I also agree, actually, knowledge is a skill. And I deem that because if you're out there and you're trying to apply what you know, you are always trying to apply what you know, whether it be in business, you simple-minded
Yeah.
finance, organizing your funds, or sorting out your debt. it is a business-minded skill, and you use your knowledge to sort yourself out. You use your knowledge for external
Definitely.
sources, any external sources really. Internal
Hmm.
sources, what could you do? It can be
Yeah.
either you individually or you as a business. Those two factors are considered in business, actually. So that's actually a very useful approach. And it can also be practical skills like math. There are practices
Definitely.
where
Yeah.
in AHO where I'm always calculating at a very fast rate because I have to do my work really quickly. I've found
Yeah.
methods without a calculator to calculate quick. So, for example, a very simple one. If I were to take 24 and times it by 5, how I'd approach it is I'd split the number into 20 times 5 plus 4 times 5. And then I get
Hmm.
100 plus 20. Together, 120. That's how I do the
That.
multiplying, which is
Yeah.
very quick.
Uh, I think that's an absolutely fantastic thing.
So, in the end of the day, we actually understand that knowledge is something essential, and so are skills.
Mhm.
General skills in life is essential for anyone, a student, an adult, an elderly person, even a child. So,
Yeah.
do you also think that, skills are necessary to survive out there in the world?
I think skills are necessary. Like you said, elderly, adult, children, children, they gotta learn how to walk. Adults, they gotta learn how to work. Elderly people, they gotta learn how to be old. It's a tough thing to do. I'm not old myself, but it looks like it's a tough thing to do. But skills in all aspects, all disciplines, whether that be life, that be business, that be academia, skills are always going to be there, and it's up to you what skills you develop and how you apply them in this world. And I think that's very important, definitely.
Well, guys, thank you for listening to the Cherry Podcast. I hope you enjoyed the session with me and
Yeah.
Zain. Zain, thank you for
Thank you for
being on
having
this
me, Mr.
podcast.
Joseph.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
thank you. It's a pleasure.